Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Tuesday, August 15th. It is 6:15 right now. Market's going to open in about 15 minutes. So hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I'm back from vacation, so getting everything back on track right now. So it's going to be a few moments to finish setting this up, and then we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. We had some news this morning. I'll mark that up as well. But the volatility is still very low. So we'll see how the market moves on open. I think the volatility will pick up a little bit as we continue on with the session, but we'll see. That's right there. All right, a few more things here. And it looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It's getting sent out now. Okay. There we go. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And we will get started shortly. It's good. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in, and then we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Let's post this up in one last place. It's good. Looks like we're good to go. All right, guys. Morning, everybody. Today's Tuesday, August 15th. It is 6:17 right now. Market's going to open in about 13 minutes. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I'm back from vacation, so I'm ready to kick off the week officially today. Had a couple of news this morning, so I'll see how that affected the market, but I did look and take a little glance. It looks like market volatility is still very low, so not really too much of a difference from pre-news. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Karen. Morning, Randy. Daniel today, Sean, did you miss us on early today? Yeah, I know, dude. I was ready to get back on these charts. It was a nice little getaway to not be looking at the charts all weekend, even though I did trade yesterday. So yesterday I woke up, they're an hour ahead in Puerto Vallarta. So I was up an hour early and I was like, I might as well check the charts. And I saw the breakout playing out and I saw the liquidity and I saw the sentiment. So I was like, I'm going to take it. And I ended up taking a pretty good trade yesterday. So if you guys saw my my profits from yesterday, I took one trade. These are my profits across all my accounts. So I made about like 2,000 pretty much across every account. It was kind of scary though, because I haven't traded on my phone in a while. And it was just, I had to pull out of that trade super quick. But yeah, decent day to Monday. Hopefully today's just as good. But just looking at the charts right now, volatility is very low, even after news. News happened over here at 5:30. Volatility is still at 11 ATR. So we'll see where that goes. But other than that, let's start by marking up the liquidity here on the weekly time frame. I'm just going to mark some of this stuff up and I'll get back to the chat shortly. All right, there goes weekly. Like the daily got hit there already. Daily, 8 hour. 4 hour. Hour. 1 hour, and then we'll get down to the lower time frames from here. All right, now down to the 30. Change colors to red. 15. So you can see as we get lower and lower in the time frames, the volatility starts to get a lot slower as well. So, I mean, we'll see how this moves, in the next couple of minutes or so when the market opens, but volatility is kind of flat over here. All right, so it looks like we're good over there with liquidity. So if you guys are just joining the room, good morning, everybody. Today's Tuesday, August 15th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's going to open in about 9 minutes. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. And let's see what else is going on here. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Dan. Good morning, Kenny. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Shiv. Yeah, Shiv, the trip was good. No, it was cool. It was like a little getaway. It wasn't anything too crazy. I was only gone for about like 3 days, but it was nice to, I would say, get away from the heat, but it was actually really hot there. It was really humid at the vacation area. So it was cool. I mean, it was a nice little vacation. I don't like being on vacation for too long though. So, 3 days is like good enough for me. Whenever I'm on vacation, I'm always thinking about trading. So it was about time that I got back. So we're right back here. So, all right, market is going to open in about 8 minutes. We've marked up liquidity over here. There's one level of liquidity here, but it's a low level. So, I mean, we'll keep an eye out on this level right here. In case it does hit, it'll probably go for, about 100 pips. Volatility is very low, so I'm not expecting it to push too far out. We also have the lower level liquidity down here as well. They're both low levels, so they're not very strong. So if you guys are looking to take these levels of liquidity on market open, I'd probably only go for, 100 pips or so. Other than that, let's take a look at the main charts. We had news over here at 5:30. I believe it was retail sales and core retail sales right there at 5:30. So I've marked up news right there. Check real quick. Yeah, we had news over here at 5:30. Retail sales, year over year, month over month, export prices, import prices, etc. A lot of the news here was positive. You can see that price kind of faked out below and then it shot right back up for correction. So this is the news from this morning, 5:30. We have more news at 7 o'clock, and that's about it for today. So I'm going to mark up news for today at 7 o'clock. And I think what I'm going to do early on right now is I'm going to start marking up the levels as well at the 10th mark, because I've noticed that even yesterday when I was trading on my phone, the levels with the 10th mark helped me identify a lot of areas to, it helped me identify whether it was a good time to trade or not, because the volatility, I could see if the volatility was low or high. And I think it does definitely help when looking for possible entries here. So I'll just mark up the levels now, because we can see if the market is actually moving and if it's worth taking a trade versus not taking a trade, right? Because when the volatility is too low, it's not worth taking a trade, but sometimes like volatility will pick up pretty quickly, and it'll be beneficial for us to actually see movement versus just waiting. So all right, morning Maria, morning Andreas, morning everybody, morning Seren. Yeah, good to see a lot of you guys here. I feel like I've been gone for a long time, but it's only been like about 3 or 4 days. But I'm glad to be back here on the charts. Looking at the ATR, it's currently at 10 right now, so the volatility is a bit low. We're still in pre-market, so it's 6:24 right now. We'll see what happens when the market continues to move along. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. I don't think it's very strong anymore. Retail sentiment is currently 64% short, so it's pretty much mixed right now. I mean, it's still bullish, but it's not as strong. So it's 64% short, indicating that 64% of retail traders are currently selling. So we still want to do the opposite and buy, but it's just not as strong. Typically, you want it to be above 65%. So I'll put that over here, and we will continue looking for where to trade or wherever our bias will be. So let's see. But today's overall bias, retail sentiment is still bullish, but not very strong. It is currently 64% short. Fundamentals. Fundamental bias. Short-term technicals, long-term technicals. So let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals are currently pretty down. They're down 230 points red. So they're pretty bearish right now at the moment. Looking over here at the technicals, it's a bit mixed. So short-term technicals, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, I'm going to put neutral because the 1 minute here is obviously bullish, while the 5 minute over here is neutral, and the 10 minute is neutral as well. However, the longer time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour are all bearish. You can see prices below the pivots, the trend meter is red, and the pivots are angling down. So we'll put that down over here. Fundamental bias is currently bearish. So you can see there's a bit of a mix here. Down 200 points. Short-term technicals are currently neutral and long-term technicals are bearish. So we have a pretty mixed bag here. We're not really sure which direction price will be pushing with regard to a bias. However, it wouldn't really matter to us because if we have a direction and volatility is high enough, we'll take trades in that direction, of course. So market is going to open in about 4 minutes, guys. We'll see what happens here when the market opens, and then we'll start looking for any possible entries as price continues to, obviously move along. Here's a clean chart over here. I'm going to mark up 6:30 for opening price, opening time, also right here at 8 o'clock. So when market opens over here, I'll mark up the opening price, and then I'll also mark up structure so that you guys can see where price is going. But for the most part, volatility here is just very, very low, as you guys can see. Hey, Rick. Thanks. Yeah, no, definitely. Here is the levels of liquidity. So it looks like the first level right there already got hit. I marked this up pre-market. It got hit pre-market, obviously. You can see it hit about like 3 minutes ago. It's currently running right now in TP, almost near TP. It's not there yet, but it's almost there. That's the first level right there. So the first level is at 35,166. The level down below is 35,058. So full TP right here on the first level of liquidity. Next level of liquidity is going to be at 35,237. So if you guys are looking to take the next level up here, I would recommend, waiting for price to retrace a bit, which it probably will. Probably push up a little bit, retrace, push up, consolidate, and then hit that level up there. So there goes the first level of liquidity right there. Obviously, I can take it. I'm not taking any pre-market trades here. One thing that I noticed is if you stick to your game plan, you'll do great. I mean, I just finished my book over my trip, Unknown Market Wizards, and that's literally what all of them say. Everybody who does really well with trading, it's like, just stick to what you're good at and just, master that and stay consistent. So for me, I know I typically lose trades if I trade pre-market or if I trade after market. So I'm just going to stick to 6:30 and 8, guys. I'm not going to do anything after. I'm not going to do anything before. As long as I stick to my game plan, I should be fine. I should have consistency with my wins. So there goes the first level of liquidity right there. Just got hit, full TP. If you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's okay. I still would consider this risky because it is pre-market. So yeah, that goes the first level of liquidity. Next level is going to be up here, of course. Might take some time to get up there because it is quite a bit of a distance to get to that point. Let's see. It's not super far, but it's about 500 pips. So it's not close and it's also not far. However, the volatility right now is a little low. So we'll see what happens. Just a reminder, the pre-market news was positive. So this might push up higher. It looks like the market's having a late reaction to the news, which is down here. Price faked out, corrected back up, consolidated, and now it's having a strike to the upside based off the news at 5:30 about an hour ago. All right, guys, market is opening in about 20 seconds. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here, guys. Market is opening up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is now open. Here we go. As price pushes up, comes right back down. I think we're going to get a bit of a jerky movement here on open. It's not going to be a very strong push to the upside because the news earlier was okay, but price did already push up from that point. So price pushed up from here up to this point. It's already up 1,500 pips. So it's very overextended at this point. There goes that level of liquidity that might get hit here. I would probably wait for retracement and consolidation before taking the entry though. So if you guys are looking to take this here, I mean, I'll mark it up. I'm not going to take the trade yet though. If I do take it, I'll let you guys know, but obviously I'm not looking to take it right now. It's just, it's very overextended. So if you measure from this point right here, it's up about 800 pips. So it's enough to push through, hopefully. But from this lower level down here, it's very high. So there was a push up, small retracement right here at the 800 pip mark. And then if you measure up to here, it's about 1,500 pips. So it's quite a bit of a distance to the upside. This is a late reaction to the news. If you guys saw the news from earlier this morning, news was positive right here all morning. So there goes the liquidity right there. If you guys took it, it already went straight to TP. So there goes that first level of liquidity. It literally blasted right through. So you guys had to be waiting for that if you guys decided to take it. Again, right here, this is why I mentioned to only go for 100 pips, because you can see how price is coming right back down. So yeah, be very prepared for these entries here. If you guys are taking this liquidity, you can't be slacking off, thinking too much. You just have to take a trade when it comes up if you're looking to take it. If you're not, then, you know, obviously I would just wait. For me personally, I would have just waited a bit because obvious reasons. I mentioned overextension right there. But this is all late reaction to the news. So you guys saw the news this morning. If you guys got in a little late, over here at 5:30, we had retail sales month over month, retail sales year over year, retail automobile sales, gas sales, etc. Like basically gas, retail sales, stuff like that, cars. It was all positive. So I was expecting a bullish push. You know, it happened right here pre-market because here's where the news happened. News happened here at 5:30. It faked out to the bottom, came back up, consolidated, and then it finally had a stride to the upside where it was supposed to go to begin with. So yeah, here we go. As price continues to push along, I'm going to go and move this up higher as we follow along with this move here. I would probably be careful for any entries at the moment. If you guys are looking to take these momentum scalp pullbacks, I would probably hold off for a bit because it is overextended. The volatility is actually not that high. It looks high because of this big push to the upside, but the volatility is actually pretty low. It's only at 17 right now. Typically right now I'd be around like 7, I'd be closer to like 20, 25, but right now it's a little slow. So I'd probably wait for, I wait for the next momentum to come up before taking any entries here with regard to the momentum pullback scalp. It's just a little too early in the market. A lot of you guys have like talked to me about this and you guys always have problems with the earlier entries. So it's better just wait for the market to, it's better to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit before taking anything here. So this is going to be opening price right here. So I'm gonna let price kind of breathe a little bit. Once it's done breathing, I'll go ahead and, or I'll start marking up like some of the structure here. So this level is kind of high, but I mean, we'll mark it up just to have an idea. So we basically got to look for a new low here. There's no new low yet. So once I find a lower low, I'll mark structure there, but this is a clean chart. So you can see prices over here coming right back down. It's now below the opening price. You can see price is kind of climbing down a little bit. Once it establishes a new lower low right here, I'll update the zones. But this is pretty much the zones and structure that I can see for now. You can see price within this consolidation, came down, consolidation. Basically just two ranges right here. Range right here, range below. Now it came back up. Now it's back ranging in the same level from earlier. And we'll see if it ends up holding or if it pushes right back up. So, all right, if you guys took the liquidity push, full TP right there, full TP down here. Now we're just waiting for some more confirmation before we can start looking for possible entry. I actually want a sell signal here to come up. So I need a sell signal here to come up so that when price does push back up, we can start looking for possible entries for a buy. Right now, there just isn't anything for us to take right now. Here's today's overall bias. We'll see if it shifted at all. I mean, the main thing to look at would probably be the fundamentals because the technicals over here are going to be a bit of a mess. So looking over here, neutral still for the shorter time frames, 1, 5, and 10. You can see prices in between the pivots. It's not really pushed in any direction. It's kind of just going back and forth. The longer time frames over here, 30-minute is starting to be a bit neutral as well. So we might have to shift both of them to neutral. The longer time frames over here might be bearish neutral. So I'll just shift that right now. But this is actually a good thing. So I like when there's no overall bias, but I also like when there's high volatility, because that means we can trade in both directions, right? So you just got to be smart about it. Don't just try to hop into every single thing that you think is going to happen, because that's probably not going to happen. You got to be very smart about the decisions you decide to make when taking these entries here, because a lot can change. A lot can change within a few moments. So you can see over here, our price is coming back down. We have two different opportunities here, right? Price can come back down. And since there's no bias right now, I don't really care which direction to trade in. So if price comes back down, we have a sell signal here. If price comes down to this area and continues dropping, then I'll take a sell, right? I have no justification to just trade in one direction. So if it comes down here, then great, I'll look for a sell. However, if price comes back up, say we get a buy signal over here and price comes right back up, then that's fine with me. I'll start taking some buys there, right? So not really a big deal here. I mean, we can go in either direction. So I'm not really too fixated on like taking only buys or taking sells. I'm okay with taking whichever direction price will give me opportunities. Also got to wait for the volatility here to kind of smoothen out. Volatility is now at 22 points ATR. So the volatility is pretty high. We just got to see if this volatility actually holds, because this can be temporary. Kenny's asking, is it ranging? I mean, it kind of is ranging right now between these two levels, but not exactly. I mean, it's in a big range. So to say that it's ranging, like consolidating ranging, it's hard to tell. We'll have to see if price bounces off this area and it stays, within the zone here, which it looks like it might. See, CJ mentioned a high level momentum scalp just hit. Yes, there was one right here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught this. There was a higher high right here, a sell signal, broken close past pivots 1 and 2. So if you guys took that entry right there that CJ mentioned, looks like it went straight to TP already. Right there. And if you wanted to take it based off ATR, you can do 22.22. And it looks like it's still running right now. So depending on your entry, if you went for 100 pips, it already hit TP. If you're going for the full ATR, 22.22, or actually that's 21, it's technically still running. So we'll see. But yeah, nice catch right there. CJ, I probably would only go for the 100 at this point, because the volatility is not very consistent. I mean, not to say that it won't come down, but volatility is not very consistent right now. So I would only go for the 100 pips. All right, so I'm looking for a buy signal here. If I get a buy signal here, I'm going to look for price to push up. Looks like we may get a buy signal here soon. If price pushes above this level here, it's probably going to give a buy signal, and I can see it coming pretty soon. If we get that buy signal, I'm going to look for price to push up higher, retrace, and continue up higher from there. And that's where I'm going to be looking to take my buy. But again, we need that buy signal first. So until we get that buy signal, there's no opportunity for entry just yet. So we just got to be smart about it and patient about it and wait for confirmation. Still no buy signal. There goes a pending buy signal right there. Let me see the news for today. Yeah, there's only news at 7 o'clock. So there's not really too much for us to worry about here. It's just 7 o'clock. So as we get closer to 7, we got to be a little more careful. But there goes a buy signal right there. If this buy signal closes, we just need to wait for it to push up a bit higher, retrace, and continue. But as you guys can see from this current candle right here, the volatility is starting to die down quite a bit. All right, we got 5 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if this here closes, and it closed. All right, perfect. So we need price to push up a bit higher. We can't get a pullback right here. I need the pullback to be a bit higher so that we have an actual direction here. So there's no direction here yet. You can see this candle is pulling back right after. This can easily be another sell signal. It's going to mess up our direction. So we need to confirm a direction. We need price to push up a bit higher. around here. If we don't get that push to the upside, definitely no entry here. So I need some volume to go to the upside right now. If not, we're just going to continue waiting for possible entry here. Let me get my trade over here ready just in case. That level is going to be up at 200 possibly. We need to push up. Either we get a push up or we get a sell signal. If the sell signal comes up, then we got to wait for another buy signal. So it's okay that price is pulling back like this. If we get another sell signal, then we just got to wait for the reset. But you guys can see the volatility is starting to slow down quite a bit. All right, if we get that sell signal there, it's fine. We'll start looking for a possible sell. But we are getting closer to news, so just keep that in mind, guys. Let me check the news again for 7 o'clock. What's coming up? We have NAHB Housing Market Index, medium impact, retail inventories for autos, and then business inventories month over month. So they're medium to light impact. So they're not they're not crazy news, but I mean, they can still push price around. I think the NAHB Housing Index is probably going to be affecting the market the most, because that's going to indicate like how the economy is doing. You know, obviously there's a lot of houses for sale. It's going to show that the economy is possibly doing good because the interest rates are high. So depending on like how many people are buying or selling, it's going to affect the market directly, because we'll see how strong the economy is. But again, it's not going to be like super directly correlating. It's going to be affecting a lot of other sectors versus just inflation in general, inflation and depression. All right, so we got a pending sell signal here. If this here closes, that's completely fine. We just got to wait for the trend here to shift. So I'm going to see if this here closes. If this here closes, I'm going to be looking for the pivots here to shift and the trend meter down below to shift as well. If not, I mean, we can still get the push to the upside, but again, we just have to wait for it to actually push up pretty high up to this point. From where it's currently at, it's quite a bit of a push, about like 500 pips. So it's going to have a distance to go if it ends up pushing back up from where it's currently at. Looks like we're not going to get that sell signal. So at this point, it's just a waiting game, guys. Yeah, it looks like we might get a correction or we might get a sell signal. So I think if price drops below this point, we'll probably get a sell signal. If price doesn't drop below this point, then we might just get a push back to the upside. But again, it's a big push before we can start looking for any entries there. So it's got to sit tight and it's got to sit tight and wait for this here to confirm. 6:43 right now. We got a lot of time. We got about 15 minutes till 8. But you guys can see the volatility here starting to slow down a bit. All right, I'll give another shot here. If this candle here doesn't close below this level, it's probably not going to give a sell signal. It's probably just going to create a support at this point, because this is lower low. So once this candle closes, I'm going to go back to the clean chart. I'm going to mark up a new level there. All right. So this here is now the lower low. So this is the range now. You guys can see it a lot better now. So price was ranging around this area previously. You can see over here, price was already ranging around this area. So it's not a new area for it to range in. It's just it came back into this area. So price was ranging here prior. Price was ranging here. And then it broke below. And then now it's just coming right back up. Right. So it's not like it's not in a whole new area. It was ranging here prior. So it's just correcting back to where it was basically yesterday or during the London session. So London session over here, this was the London range, and price is back into the London range now. It's not like anything news here. It's just going back into that area. So we currently have a sell signal right here. In order for us to take buys, we need to get a buy signal. So price needs to push up quite a bit before we can start looking for any possible buys. Otherwise, looks like price might just consolidate here for a bit until we start to get a push to the downside. So not too much going on here. Looking over here at all the time frames, you can see the shorter time frames are very neutral. You can see the 1 minute here is in between the pivots, 5 minutes in between the pivots, 10-minute in between the pivots. No direction with regard to the lower time frames here. Looking back on the higher time frames, you can see that price is still somewhat bearish. It's not very strong, but it is still somewhat bearish. You can see the 30-minute over here is in between the pivots, 1 hour is below the pivots, 4 hours below the pivots. But they've been kind of just ranging for the past couple, I guess for the past day or so. So we'll see what happens here. But again, you don't want to like have too much of a bias, especially when it's not very strong. So I'm okay with taking buys or sells. I just got to wait for a confirmation here before I start looking for entries, in that direction. 646 right now. So if you don't get a push up in the next 4 minutes or so, we're probably gonna have to hold off until news happens over here at 7 o'clock. Last thing you want to do is get caught in like some crazy movement right before news happens. But if the volatility does pick up like from now until 650, I guess, we can maybe look for an entry. It's not looking like it's going to happen, but maybe, there's a possibility there. Yeah, it seems like the market's just going to go sideways till 7 o'clock. It looks like the market makers are just waiting. They're not really pushing price anywhere. It's just going to keep going back and forth until we get to news here. And then when news happens, it's either going to spike up or spike down. Or it might even be a fake out. It might spike up, then come back down, or spike down and come right back up. So you can see the trend meter down below is turning blue. So if this is the case and price starts to shift to the downside, this is completely fine. If this is the case, we want to look for this red pivot here to be above all the other pivots. So once we get level 4 pivot over here above all the other ones, it's going to confirm that price is now shifting to a downward trend. On top of that, the trend meter down here will most likely turn red. And if that's the case, that's completely fine, because then I'll just start looking for sells at that point, right? But we need a confirmation of direction before we can start looking for sells. Until we get that confirmation, we just got to sit tight and wait. Because if not, we can get caught in a trap here. You guys also have to remember that today is Trap Tuesday. I know a lot of you guys sometimes forget, but today is Trap Tuesday. So, be prepared for these traps and don't get caught in the traps as well. Hey, Shannon, how's it going? Yeah, it's just that, it's just a matter of patience here. I feel like a lot of people, if you get impatient here, this is where you're going to get burnt really bad. Because like, for example, if people will chase this buy here, they would have gone burnt because price came right back down. And then now if people are chasing the sell right here, they can get burnt because price will just swing right back up, right? So don't get caught in these traps, guys. This is normal for a Tuesday, especially for summer conditions. For one, it's summer conditions. For two, it's a Tuesday. It's Trap Tuesday. So just be careful with these entries here. Don't wait for actual confirmation before starting to take an entry. So you can see over here, pivot 4 is starting to cross over all the other pivots. Once it confirms that it's above all the pivots and the trend meter down below is red, then we can possibly start looking for an entry here for a sell. We are getting close to news price, so you might want to be a little careful. But you can see here that the candle is still a bit indecisive. It'll come down a little bit and it'll swing right back up. And it just keeps establishing new lows. So with that said, we have another low right here, new lower low. I don't think this lower low is going to hold though. So you can see over here, if I turn on the indicator, there's a lower low right there. But I think this is going to continue climbing down lower. So I think this here will probably disappear. So I'm not going to make the update yet. It's going to follow and see where it goes. But if it continues to climb lower, then I think that's going to shift and adjust. Of course. And look what happens here. It did exactly what I said, right? So I said price is going to drop lower and it's going to adjust, and that's exactly what happened. That's why I didn't draw the new low level right there, because I knew a new level was going to keep pushing down lower. Again, right here, I'm still not ready to take any entries because pivot 4 has not crossed over above all the other ones. And also the trend meter down below has not established yet. You can see here that it is turning red, but it's also disappearing. So we have some profits over here from Kenny. So Kenny took the sell from earlier today, about 635, total profit of 2,620 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. So solid profits right there. Kenny's first trade for the day. Yeah, C6A trap Tuesday, exactly. All right, so it's 6:50 right now. I don't think I'll be looking to take any entries until the news passes, guys. We got news over here at 7 o'clock. I think at this point, price may just consolidate for a bit. If it stays below the pivots, it'll probably confirm that it's in a downwards trend or it's starting to shift. If not, it'll probably shift back up, but it's getting a little too close to news price and the volatility is very low. So 6:50 right here, we have news at 7 o'clock. It's a medium to low impact news events. They're not directly correlated with US30, but you know, they affect them in one way or another. So again, right here, we have new lower low. At this point, I'm now going to draw this new lower low level so that you guys can see structure from this point. So there is a new lower low level right there. So now that we have this new level down below, one of two things are going to happen here. Price is either going to correct back up and go back into this range here, or price will just stay within this area and just range within here until news happens, 7 o'clock. And then price will either come above or it'll come below. Right, so it's just a matter of patience, guys. You just got to wait for this here to confirm. This is now the new range. It's just going to go sideways here until news, I can assume. Yeah, Kenny said I made my profit and now going to bed. Yeah, definitely, Kenny. Probably a good idea, especially for Trap Tuesday. If you made it, like Kenny already made 2,000 for the day. If you made your profit for the day and you're good, then you know, wrap it up. If not, then you just got to sit and be patient for this here to confirm. 6:52 right now. We have about 8 minutes until news. I think price will probably just range between these two levels right here until then. Will probably stay here. And it'll stay here. All right, Kenny, we'll see you back tomorrow. Kenny really just got off. Kenny was like, yeah, I got my profit, I'm done. And he signed off. That's smart though. If you guys have your profits for the day and you guys don't need to trade, I mean, realistically, nobody has to trade, right? There's no time limits anymore on these challenges. So if you don't feel comfortable, then you know, just call it a day. It's better to pass within, you know, an entire month period versus trying to force your pass and then getting yourself into a deep hole. All right, so price kind of pushed up above here. I think this might be a fake out. So this may fake out and then come back down, or it may continue pushing up from where it's currently at. There's no telling what's really going to happen at this point. We do have news coming up in about 7 minutes, so we'll see if that. I mean, there's no real way to tell which direction price will go. Like you'll see over here. So, for example, this morning at 5:30, all the news is positive, right? 5:30, retail sales positive, retail sales year over year positive, auto sales positive, gas sales positive, export prices, import prices, everything was positive, right? So if you go back over here to 5:30, when that news happened, you can see that price like literally faked out. So it doesn't really matter where you think price is going, but fake out like this can happen right there, and then it'll just correct back up. It'll push back up, consolidate, and then eventually go up higher. So that's why I don't really base anything off news. I like to see how price reacts to the news, but not necessarily base my entries off specific news events. Because I feel like a lot of people know how to use fundamentals now. So the market makers trick them a lot with regard to pushing price where it's supposed to go. So here goes, price may fake out. If it fakes out and comes back into this range, no surprise, because I already mentioned that was probably going to happen, right? Mentioned price is probably going to fake out and then pull back into the range down here. I mean, we'll see. Price can really do anything. It can either fake out or it can continue pushing. But right now, we got news coming up in about 6 minutes. So I'd probably just sit tight. If you guys don't have to take anything right now, I just hold off and wait for the news here to pass. So the trend over here still hasn't confirmed. As you guys can see from the pivots over here, pivots are going sideways. There's no real confirmation. Trend meter down below shifting a lot. It's going from blue to red to green to blue to back to red. So there's just no confirmation yet with regard to direction of price. We got 5 minutes till news. All right, so you guys saw my analysis right here, right? The fake out, it's going right back into that area. I've seen these patterns play out like one too many times, guys. So I already knew this was probably going to play out. Price pushed above, faked out. I mean, this might be another fake out right here, but I do think price will probably pull back into this area because I've just seen this pattern. Like I've gotten burnt from this before, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have gotten burnt from this before as well, right? A lot of guys like to take these break and retest patterns. So price breaks above structure, retest, and then you take that for a buy, right? And then what happens? You place your stop loss right below the level right here. And then price comes down, stops you out, and then you get mad and you look for the same thing again for the break and retest pattern. And then it does it again. And then it stops you out. I've seen this pattern like one too many times. That's why I like marking structure right here so I can kind of give you guys scenarios. I'll tell you, okay, price will probably pull back in. And that's exactly what happened here. I think price will pull back in because I think a lot of people still have their stop losses set right here. Whoever's looking for that break and retest pattern. So I think price will drop further to basically stop all those people out. And then eventually maybe it'll swing right back up. But I'm not going to mess with it because we do have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. We got 3 minutes till news. We'll see if this affects it at all. If not, then we'll be ready to start looking for trades in our direction. We currently have a buy signal right here, so I need price to push above. Yeah, if news pushes price up, then great. I need price to be somewhere above here for me to take entry. Because I need the pivots over here to shift back to the upside and the trend meter as well. It's currently red, but realistically, price is in between the pivots. Let's take a look at sentiment, if sentiment has changed at all. All right, sentiment's currently at 65% short. It's a little higher, not very strong, but it's still a little higher. Fundamentals are about the same, still 200 points. Yeah, so we still got a bit of a mixed bag here. You can see there's no direction. Price is just going sideways. So this is going to be the moment of truth. At 7 o'clock, price is either going to come down and stop all the people who are trying to look for that break and retest. There's another break and retest pattern right here. Price broke and closed off this candle. It's retesting right there. So we'll see again if these people get stopped out a second time. So break and retest pattern right there. You guys know how a lot of people trade this. They look for that retest. They go in for the entry. They put their stop loss right there at the level. And then they try to go for this big push right here, right? That's typical. What I can see here is I can see price maybe coming down, stopping them out, and then coming back up and then making that climb. I've seen this one too many times. It's like a game to me because I like looking at this and I like kind of anticipating where people are trading, and then I like actually seeing people getting stopped out. So again, right here, I just drew that up for you guys. It's kind of evil in a way, but you know, I can't be a sucker like that. Like I've lost so many times to this trade. So like whenever I see these patterns come up, I'm like, man, someone's gonna get stopped out. Because it's another break and retest pattern. There was one right here. The reason why I think this is going to drop lower is because this right here didn't necessarily drop below the level yet. So we got really close, but it didn't drop below the level. And then here's the second attempt right here. So there's two break and retests, one right there, one right there. In order to stop these people out from this previous trade, price needs to really drop a bit lower from this point, right? So I don't trade break and retest patterns. I know a lot of people like to trade them, but I feel like it's too common of a way to trade. Right there we go. Whoever was chasing that break and retest, there's a massive drawdown right now. I don't like trading patterns that everybody trades. If everybody trades that way, I for sure don't like to trade that way because I feel like that's just it's a big trap. Look right there. So yep, look at those people got stopped out. So I pretty much told you guys this was going to happen, right? Break and retest, stop out, break and retest, stop out even lower, because I said these people probably didn't get stopped out yet, because your stop loss is typically below that level. So I'm glad that we don't trade that way, because I'm sure a lot of people are punching there right now. Basically, whoever took that break and retest, because there was two opportunities right there. So, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if people were like, okay, either they didn't get stopped out right here, or they try to double up their position. I see a lot of people do that. They get a break and retest, goes in a drawdown. It doesn't stop them out, so they double up when they see the next entry here. They think it's a confluence, and then the market just tricks them, and it stops them all out. So you just got to think outside the box, guys. You know, I feel like a lot of people don't really think when they trade. They kind of just follow a linear way of trading. With me, I'm always like logically looking at different scenarios. So I try to see where other people are trading, and I try to do the opposite of them. So, I mean, I could have taken a quick little scalp right here if I wanted to, but I mean, I'm not looking to take anything risky. I've traded long enough where I'm more concerned with consistency than getting lucky with trades. Because I feel like when you get lucky with trades, it's a bad habit, because you get lucky one time doing opposite of everybody else, and then you just keep doing that. It's not always going to play out that way, right? All right, so we have a sell signal right here that's currently pending. The pivots over here still have not confirmed. If price continues to drop lower, that's completely fine. We may be able to look for an entry at this point, but kind of wait for, I want to wait for price to stabilize here a bit. So hopefully nobody got caught in that break and retest pattern that I showed you guys. I already knew that I was going to hit stop loss. And again, that's just me looking to warn you guys, right? I'm always looking for your guys' best interest. I know how a lot of other people trade. I've been trading for a long time. So when I see a pattern like that, I'll try to give you guys as big of a heads up as possible. But I mean, it's really your job whether you want to listen to my analysis or whether you want to do your own thing. So let's check the news real quick and see what the news happened. Let's see, it says home builder sentiment dropped sharply as mortgage rates surge over 7%. That's crazy. So mortgage rates are now over 7%. 7.24. That's pretty crazy. Super high. Definitely not going to be buying a home anytime soon. All right, so we got the news right there. Obviously, news was not good. Where's my FX book? Yeah, so NAHB Housing Market Index, I think this was probably the main news event that we would be looking for. It was worse than expected, -6. So, all right, we'll see where this ends up going. We currently have a sell signal here. The trend still hasn't really confirmed. I mean, it's down below, but it's not very strong. So what I need here is, in order for me to take a sell, I need price to really come down a bit lower, retrace to, I guess, that level there, and then continue dropping. But again, I'm not really set in this direction. You know, wherever price pushes, I'll be okay with taking a trade, but I just need to focus on this here. So I need price. If I'm looking for a sell, I need price to come down. If I'm looking for a buy, I need to get a buy signal sometime soon. And then I need to get that confirmation of direction. But right now, there's just nothing for us to really hop into at the moment. See if price comes back below. See, the level right here would be the 30 mark. Just need to get a better push. There's not really much of a push here yet, so a little tough. Still no direction. The volatility is starting to die down a little bit. I mean, it's decent, but it's still kind of low. It's currently at 21 ATR right now. Price isn't really pushing from levels to levels as much. I think they're going to churn price. So what I see happening here is I think the market makers might churn price. They might just keep pushing price up and down for a bit until they see where all the retail traders are trading, and they'll do the opposite. So looking over here at sentiment, I mean, sentiment hasn't changed too much. It's at 65. I think long-term price will push up, but right now, it's not really at that point. You guys can see how price is kind of just going back and forth. All right, so if price, okay, I need price to drop down a little bit, retracement maybe at the 30 mark right there. If that's the case, then that will likely be where my area of entry may be, or maybe even down at the 40 mark or 20 actually. Okay, it's dropping pretty heavy now. Starting to dump. Okay, this candle is too big. So I mean, depending on how this candle here closes, it's just too big. So I might have to skip this for now. This candle is about 300 pips. It's not extremely large, but it is, you know, it's big for what we're looking for here. We don't like taking big candles like this because a lot of manipulation happens on these types of candles. All right. All right, I gotta think about this a little bit because this candle here is a little too big. I mean, it's not that big. It's all right. Well, you have to wait for the retracement anyways. So it's about like 300 pips at max for the body at least. Next candle over here is still a little big too. It's not crazy big, but you know, it's big in comparison to all the previous candles. So we're basically looking for a retracement here. Once we get to that point, I got to see how the next candles over here react to it. Exactly. Maddie said I'm going to sit on this one depending on how it looks. Yeah, I got to see how the next candles over here look, because if anything, price may try to retrace past this candle over here. If anything, level might be right here at 90. Mark seems to dump pretty heavily from this point. All right, we got about 20 seconds left on this candle. I got to see how this candle here closes. If it closes with a nice retracement, then entry is going to be here at the 90 mark. If not, then I'm just going to have to wait a bit. All right, so let's see if this closes green. I'll put my pending order at the 90 mark right there. All right, so I got a pending order right there at the 90. If it doesn't fill, then I'll just cancel it, of course, because price is still dropping from where it's currently at. We got about, yeah, it's still dumping. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle here. You guys can see there's a level right there. I'm just waiting for it here to all right, we got 20 seconds left. If it doesn't retrace up in the next like 10 seconds or so, I'm just gonna pull out of this one. All right, I'm gonna cancel it, guys. It's too far down. Just canceled my pending order right there. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a fill on that order. I mean, we still have opportunity here, but it's not going to be for that specific entry point. All right, so price is still dropping from where it's currently at. We never got filled from there. Looks like price might have hit liquidity. Yeah, so there goes the level right there, guys. If you guys took my liquidity right here, got hit. So pretty much all of my levels of liquidity here got hit. First level right here, pre-market, this level on open, this level right here right now. I mean, basically all the levels here just got hit for liquidity. Liquidity's been on fire for the past couple of like months, guys. If you guys have been following all the levels I mark up these levels pre-market before we get on live, or right as soon as we get on the live, I'll mark up these levels, and these levels have been hitting almost every single time. Blasted right through it. Yeah, so if you guys took it, great. Yeah, Dejan said he took liquidity instead. CJ said it blasted right through. Yeah, Marcin said it hit the liquidity. Hopefully you guys caught that there. So pretty solid. Yeah, Andrew said it looks overextended. It looks very overextended now at this point. So at this point, unfortunately, let me see if I can measure this from this high point here. It's down to like well over 1,000 pips. So I think it's a little too overextended right now. Probably not going to take the next entry that comes up, guys. I got to wait for another reset here. because it's just a bit too overextended. I mean, I'll mark up the possible entry here, but I think it's definitely a little bit overextended. The entry probably happened at this point right here at the 70 mark. If you guys want to take it, you know, feel free. I'm probably gonna hold off on it for a little bit here because I want to see how this ends up moving. It's gonna have to retrace at least a little bit. So I'd rather be safe than force any moves here. Nice. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, I realized it wasn't retracing. It wasn't retracing to 90, so he took the liquidity push instead. Nice work, CJ. Yeah, a lot of guys here took liquidity push, so great work there, guys. So I'll see how this candle here closes. Okay, so technically the entry would be right here if you guys are looking to take anything. I'm not going to take it, guys. It's just too overextended right now. I need to wait for that retracement. So I'm going to look for the next opportunity for entry. I'm not in this position, guys. Just another reminder. I just marked it up for you guys there. If anything, you probably would want to enter it up here because this is just too close from where I was currently at. So if anything, the entry might happen at this higher level here. It hasn't touched it yet. Let's see. All right, we got some profits over here from Rashida. Rashida locked in 748 on her first account. Nice work, Rashida. And then she locked in a total profit of 2,041 on her second account. Great work, Rashida. Nice profits right there across both of her top step accounts. We got Dejan over here. Total profit of 252 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. He took a liquidity push to the downside. Other than that, I think that's about it for right now. So great profit so far, guys. I'm not in any positions right now. I just marked this up for you guys to see. But you know, the way that the market's moving right now, it's due for retracement. So that's something to look out for. Overextension. Like this will probably hit TP, but I'd rather not be in this position right now because it's just too overextended. Again, guys, you know, a reminder. If you guys want to see prices overextended, just go to the previous high and then measure down. If it's over 1,000 pips or 100 points, it's probably gonna retrace at least a little bit. So you can see over here. Let me just use the measuring tool. All right, so from this high point right here down to this, we'll just mark it up at 1,000, right? So this is a 1,000 pip move right here. You can see what price kind of just blasted through a little bit, and then now it's retracing up. How it should. This is typically what happens. If it's over like 1,000 pips, usually it's going to retrace at least a little bit. You can do like, you can just measure this anywhere really. Like again, right here, price pushed up from this low. Look how price got up to like close to 1,000, then it came right back down. And again, from down here too. Price from this low up to this point, and then retrace back down a little bit right there. So on the 1 minute, depending on how volatility is moving, it'll be around like maybe, it'll be around 750 to 1,000 pips or 75 points to 100 points. That's typically overextension point. And then from there, it'll either continue or it'll either, you know, go opposite. So the trade here is still technically running. So if you guys were following that entry from earlier, it's still technically running right now. I mean, I'm not in the position, but looks like it's about to hit TP right there. There you go. Yeah, so this would have been the entry off this momentum. This was the first pullback. So price right here, we have a sell signal, downwards trend, retracement right here. There's no entry that filled. Price pulled back again. This closed like right at the line. So the better level would be up here. It doesn't matter which level you choose because it looks like either one would have hit. But this would have been the better level right there. So either way, if you took this entry right here, full TP. If you took this entry down here, full TP as well. It doesn't matter which one you took. So you guys can see the strategy works fine. It's just when the price is overextended like this, you probably want to be a little more careful, right? You don't want to take anything too dumb or too risky, especially when a lot can happen. Because, you know, sometimes a retracement is super strong, sometimes it's weak. Right now it's just a normal retracement. Price came down, retraced up, filled the order, would have went straight down to TP. But now price is just going to consolidate around this area. So yeah, no trades for me right now. It's being patient, waiting for another opportunity here. It just becomes a little tough when there's also news around the time too. So we had news over here at 7 o'clock. A lot of this reaction was based off the news. It was negative news. News happened over here at 7 o'clock, and then price just came down a little heavy. Let's see what happens here. So let's go to the clean chart. So it's just more structure being built right here. You can see another structure right there from that lower low. So a lot can happen right here where price is currently at. You can see that price already started to retrace. So price came down here and it just ranged around this area. So it can possibly just continue ranging. But I mean, who knows really? All right, so pretty much all the levels of liquidity have been hit. This isn't really going to be too useful for us anymore. So, I mean, unless you guys want to see any other levels, I don't think there's any other levels that are close by. There's some levels that's up top, but I don't think that's going to get hit from now until 8. But it looks like all of my levels of liquidity that I marked up for you guys today, they all got hit already. So 1, 2, 3 wins. 3 back-to-back wins for liquidity here. For you guys who took it, we're probably gonna leave this chart alone. We'll come back and look at it every once in a while, but it's not really going to be of use to us because it's already been used up. All liquidity here has been hit, so you can't double dip into liquidity. We'll mainly focus here on the clean chart and our main chart here. So our main chart for entry and then our clean chart for structure. You guys can see the structure here. It's not really doing too much. So hopefully this is helping you guys understand how market moves, especially during our live session time. If there's any changes or anything different that you guys want to see, or if there's any confusion, just let me know so that I can make some adjustments. But I think this helps a lot. You guys can see here on the main chart for entry, and you can see the movement with these tenths marked up. Clean chart over here is just nothing on there. It's just pretty much marked up of zones marked up to indicate, market structure, and then obviously liquidity over here. If you guys are looking to take liquidity, I think these are our main charts. And then on top of that, we have all of the other charts here to identify direction of trend. So you can see that the trend is now bearish. I'll go over here and switch this over. The short term is now bearish. Long term is also bearish. Retail sentiment is currently 64% short, so I didn't really change very much, but it's still around that area, 64% short. So long term price will probably push back up. Fundamentals are currently down to 300 points. So I don't know if you guys saw it. There was like some stuff in the news yesterday. I think you guys have probably heard of him. Like, I forgot his name. It was like The Big Short. There's a movie called The Big Short. And there's this guy who was like shorting this. He's like one of the biggest shorters in the world. Like he has a hedge fund. Yeah, Michael Burry. So Daniel just mentioned Michael Burry. He's shorting S&P right now. So he's shorting S&P, which is basically the Dow. So depending if he's right, price might come down a little bit. If he's wrong and everybody wants to do the opposite of him and basically just screw him over, I think he put like 1.5 billion in like shorts for S&P. So if that's the case, it's going to be really tricky because sentiment here is still short, right? So there's one of two things that will happen. Either all the retail traders will chase him and they'll do the same thing as him. And then market makers will do the opposite, right? They'll just push price up. So I think this short-term drop right here is short-term. I don't think this will hold. I mean, it just depends, right? I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe Michael Burry knows something that we don't know. Who knows? He's a hedge fund manager, so maybe he knows something that's going to happen that's going to cause price to drop further. But it's just something to think about, especially if you're like wondering where price is going to go long term. We don't really care. So for us, it doesn't matter. I don't care if price goes up long term or goes down long term because we're scalpers. We're scalpers and we're day traders. So I just care what's going on right here and now, right? Like I want to know what's going to happen from now until 8 o'clock. Anything after 8 o'clock, I don't care. Price can go up, price can go down. And then from 6:30 to 8 tomorrow, that's where I care again. I don't really care what's going on outside of those trading times because I don't trade during those times. But yeah, just like what I mentioned earlier, if you guys want to look him up, Michael Burry, it's going to, let's see. Yes. Maddie just mentioned that CNBC just reported. Yes, it says over here, Dow falls 300 points as disappointing China data dampened sentiment, live updates. And then, yeah, so you guys saw the China data from last week. There's just a lot of stuff here happening that's causing a lot of this movement. But the thing that you want to be careful for is that whenever CNBC reports something, the market typically does the opposite. So you can maybe expect price to shoot right back up, at least for the shorter term. So we'll see. Yeah, Sisu said he's a macro trader. He's very likely right. Very smart. Yeah, no, exactly. But it's in 8 months. Yeah, so it's a long-term push. So I mean, it wouldn't really affect us since we're only trading, the open of the market. So yeah, I'm curious to see what will happen with S&P over the next 8 months. Like Sisu said, price may drop and then by next year it'll probably go back up. That's usually what happens. If you guys have ever traded, if you guys have traded with me over the years, yeah, I showed you guys the historical data of like US30 and S&P, right? It typically starts to like fall down a little bit around November. So like September up until December, it goes down, and then on market open or on New Year's, it ends up going right back up. So yeah, if you guys have traded with me for a while, I've showed you guys that before, right? You guys remember that in the past. Let me see if I can show you guys again over here. It's a typical thing. Like if you guys have been trading with me for a while, you guys will see that during that period, it doesn't always happen, but it happens pretty often. So like you can see over here, price was kind of climbing up until it had like a late move last year. So like around the holidays. So basically November 1st up until like March, I guess. So you can see how price didn't really do much around that period right here. I just went sideways for a bit, and then around like spring it starts to pick back up. It does this like every year, as long as the market's moving smoothly. So for example, again, right here, the same thing. Sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it happens later. I mean, it seems like it's been happening later. So right here again, same thing from like November up until March, drops down and then it corrects back up. But then it just kept dropping here. This is when the recession news came out last year. So every year is slightly different. Yeah, I mean, just projecting where price is going. So for example, November here, if Michael Burry is expecting it to go up or go down the next 8 months, so he's probably looking for this to come down slightly, and then eventually it'll come back up for next year. But I mean, again, this doesn't matter to us. It's just something to look at. If you guys are looking to swing trade US30, for us, it doesn't really matter because we just care about what's going on right now and at this specific time. Again, there's nothing for us to take here, guys. So you guys are not missing out on anything. I know I kind of went off topic to show you guys like basically historical data for how US30 moves, but there's nothing for us to take here. You guys can see the volatility is very low. There's not really much going on here. Price is going sideways. I mean, market's kind of trash right now. I was hoping we get a buy signal here at least so that we can start looking for a possible opportunity to take entry, but it's just not looking like it right now. So here's a clean chart. You can see price is pretty much ranging in between here, like I mentioned. It's not really much going on here. It's range between these two zones. Eventually price may pick up, but who knows when. Let's see. James said, I figured out a trick to backtest 1 minute candles on TradingView. You can search the expired contract futures and have all the 1 minute data. Nice. I didn't even think about that, James. Thanks for the heads up. So James over here figured out how to backtest the 1 minute candles. He just goes back to the older contracts. Like say, like right now we're currently in the basically September 2023 contract, right? So you just go back to like the previous ones. Like, I don't know, look for it, but yeah, basically the older ones. But yeah, thanks, James, for the heads up. Yeah, if you guys ever want to go back test, James found a little loophole there to find previous data. All right. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, James. Yeah, so James said H1 is H. Okay, I'm gonna save that actually. Thanks, James. Yeah, if you guys are in the Zoom, James put some details there with regard to looking for previous data. How to pull up previous data. Yeah, it's good to know. Because sometimes you just want to like test, previous data. Like if you get bored sometimes, I think back testing is probably gonna be your best friend because you'd rather be practicing versus doing nothing, right? Like I can't like I used to like playing video games before. I mean, you guys probably saw me playing video games like over the past couple of months, but I just don't have an interest in video games, right? Like back then, I used to like video games because I used to play video games in my free time, but now I'd rather find stuff that's more productive, right? I feel like video games are just a waste of time. Unless you're gonna be a pro gamer, then okay, you can make money off that. But unless you're a streamer, then yeah, great. But if you're just playing video games to play video games, like that's like the worst waste of time of your life, guys. You're literally wasting like hours and hours and hours, days of your life playing video games that's gonna do nothing for you, right? Unless you're playing a video game that'll help you with like logic and stuff like that, then maybe. But for me, I don't even have the patience for video games. I'll play like Call of Duty with some people and I'm like, man, this sucks. Even though I'm winning, I'll be winning and I'll be like, this sucks, this is boring. And I'll go look up like YouTube videos how to make more money, right? So yeah, I think back testing would probably be your best friend. If you guys ever get bored, just back test and you'll be better and better at trading. You'll get so much better at trading if you guys just back test because you guys will see these same patterns repeat themselves over and over again. And that's pretty much what I do in my free time. That's how I come up with these new strategies. So you guys will see like this strategy, we've been using this for a couple months now. This is basically one of my older strategies. I just refined it and then I showed it to you guys and we've been killing it now. Same with liquidity, right? Like liquidity, I stopped trading liquidity for a long time. And then I just refined it with you guys here. Before we would draw liquidity on like the lower time frames from like the 1, 5, 10, etc. But then I figured out, I was like, those levels are so weak that I should be looking up levels on the higher time frames, right? Because if you guys remember liquidity in the beginning, I used to mark up these level one liquidities, and I mentioned liquidity would only be good if there's like a lot of liquidity sitting in one area, which still works, but that's just how we get better at trading. So yeah, again, thanks James for the heads up. Now I just have to wait for this retracement. I'm looking for a buy signal to come up. Once the buy signal comes up, we can continue looking for a sell, but the volatility right now is very low. ATRs are currently at 18 right now, so it's super flat. It's nowhere near where it should be. It's just gonna be a matter of time until it starts to move again. Let's see, question from Karen. Karen's asking if there's a mentoring session later today. So I don't have any mentoring sessions scheduled for this week, Karen. I'm not sure if we're going to have one this week. We might have one on Thursday. So Thursday is probably the only day that I can maybe have one. I'll let you guys know if I can, though. I just have a lot of stuff to do this week. So I can't get on specifically today. I don't know if I can get on tomorrow, maybe Thursday or Friday, but I'll let you guys know if that ends up being the case. I just got to check my schedule. Coming back from vacation, I always have a lot of stuff to catch up on, and I just don't have a specific date and time where I'm available. All right, so we have nothing here yet, guys. We have a possible buy signal coming up here. You can see right there, I already anticipated it. I said that was going to come up right before it did, and it came up on this next candle. So this right here is the pending buy signal. If we get this right here, then we'll see price pushes up. If not, then we're going to look for another sell signal, and we'll look for possible opportunity to take the sell to the downside. You guys can see, I was able to predict this buy signal to come up like literally right before it happened. This is from back testing. I back tested so much and I created these indicators, so I know when these buy signals are going to come up. So again, like if you guys back test enough and you guys see these patterns. So the reason why I saw that there's because I saw the push to the upside, or I started to see momentum on this candle. So price is pushing down. I saw a big candle right here was engulfing these. I was like, okay, the momentum's swinging up, and I was like, okay, a buy signal is going to come up sometime soon, which it did right here. This is all from practice and experience. So once this candle here closes with the buy signal, I'm going to look for another sell signal to confirm the continuation to the downside. So I need a retracement right here, then I need to push down, then continuation. And once I get that right there, I'm going to look for a sell. I'm hoping we can get one before market close, but the volatility is very low right now. I mean, it's just a matter of time. Like, but again, I'm not going to force anything here. So I'm hoping we get this buy signal soon. I hope the volatility picks up even a little bit. If that happens, then great. We'll start looking for a possible entry here. But until then, it's just going to be a matter of patience and waiting for this here to actually provide us, an opportunity for entry. And again, guys, if you guys are new here, or if you guys are just like getting in the swing of things, like we're trading in the summer. So these are just like conditions for the summer. When the fall rolls around next month, I mean, it's going to be September next month already. So once we get into the fall season next month, the volatility will pick back up. So we'll have multiple entries that are available, throughout the session. It's not just going to be like one entry and then a dead period for the entire time, and then it picks back up. In the fall, it'll be more consistent. So let's see. Marston said you can use horizontal lines, quarters theory indicator to plot. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll take a look at that too, Marston. I personally like drawing them myself though, because it keeps me like engaged in the market. So I'll check out that indicator, or if anything, I'll create an indicator myself. It's not too difficult for me to create this these indicators. The thing with this indicator here is that so I don't like it to be all over the chart. You can technically put these lines up manually or automatically. You can just go to your chart settings. And if you want like every line to be lined up, you can just go to you can go to grid lines right here, and you can just make them black. But then have them like very black like that. So see how I have the lines marked up right there? Let me just go back over here. I don't want to make a mess. So see how I have these right here? I can just make them super like straight black. Actually, this one right here. Let me go back. I don't want to have it set there. So, okay, I have it at 6%. I'll put it at 100. So see how the line's already lined up right there? I can just, and they're already on the chart. So you don't really need an indicator for it. You can just put the lines on your chart if you want, but it's just too, you guys can see it's a little too messy, right? I don't like when it looks like this. So I personally like doing it myself manually, but you can just go to your settings and you can just change it to this. So I'll just put it back to 6. There you go. Yeah, so if you wanted to do that, you can, but I like having the dotted lines, and I also like, I like having some clean areas, all throughout. Yeah, no problem, Arson. I only say that because you don't want to have too many indicators on your chart, right? Like Marcin mentioned that there's an indicator where you can put the lines up, but if you have too many indicators on your chart, it's going to be a little bit messy, or a lot of it messy. So I prefer to only put the indicators that are necessary, and then if I need to put drawings up, drawings could work for me as well. All right, so back over here to the clean chart. As you guys can see, price still has not broken past this level. It's still going back and forth. So the same level that we drew earlier, price is having trouble getting past it. We'll see where this ends up going. I was hoping we get that retracement. So I need that retracement to the upside so that we can get the buy signal and then continuation down below. But until we get that, I mean, it's just a matter of patience until any of this here will follow through. Yeah, exactly. Marcin said that's true. That's true. Clean charts make it easier. Yeah, that's why I have multiple charts here too. Like for example, I could probably have liquidity on the same chart, but I'd rather have it separate so it's not all messy. And then also with our clean chart here, I could have the structure drawn on our main chart as well, but I'd rather just have separate charts here. One that's very clean, one that has liquidity, which is somewhat clean, and then obviously our main chart here for entries. So it's just up to preference, but for me in general, I like having as clean a chart as possible for specific scenarios. All right, so we still don't have that buy signal yet. I'm hoping we get that sometime soon. There's not really too much here, guys. The price is just going sideways. Let's go back and take a look at everything over here, if there is any other update. So let's look at sentiment. Sentiment is still at 64%. So you can see there's not really much of a move here. This is why the retail sentiment, this is why the fundamentals or basically the fundamentals and the market makers aren't really doing too much. Like if you look at the movement here, if you go back to the fundamentals, they're still at like 300 points. I mean, it's been at 300 points since like 7:14, right? 7:35 now. So it's been like 20 minutes, not really too much of a movement. You can see over here the Dow falls 300 points. And if you guys click on that, it gives you the date and time of like when it was published. So there's not too much that's really happened here. It's just going sideways for the most part. See what they got over here. Fitch warns it may be forced to downgrade dozens of banks, including JP Morgan Chase. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we'll see. This is just, it's gonna affect me because I have long-term investments in JP Morgan Chase. So I'm worried if this drops, just sell my stocks, JP Morgan Chase. Other than that, there's not really too much here causing. I mean, JP Morgan Chase is also in it's one of the stocks within the Dow, so it's going to affect the Dow as well. You can see right here, it's down 4 points right now. It's not down a lot, but it is down quite a bit. It's down 2%. Yeah, so outside of the day trading here, I still have like long-term investments. So I just buy and hold a lot of these stocks that I don't think are going to go anywhere. Basically put in like, 15 to 20,000 a year just to sit in my account. And then I just collect dividends. Yeah, no, C6 said, yeah, hold out for the dividend payout, purchase more when it drops. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm doing, C6. I mean, it depends on how far it drops though. I mean, it's still going to be considered an AA bank. So it's not like, I'm not buying into like Citizens Bank or some of those banks that like, basically failed. All right, so there's nothing for us to take here yet, guys. It's 7:37. I'm hoping we get some volatility towards the end of the session because I would really like to take at least one trade, but I mean, there's nothing for us to take here at the moment. The volatility here is super low. It's currently at 18. It's picking back up. It's now at 19. So let's see if this holds. I'm looking for a buy signal here to come up. All right, we have some more profits over here from Andreas. Andreas locked in a total profit of 1,180 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. All wins. He's looking for one more trade. Hopefully we'll get that. If not, then no need to force anything. We got Marcin over here. He took a liquidity push, total profit of 33.70 for the day. Nice work, Marcin. Yeah, great work right there. We also have, let's see, Maddie over here. Maddie locked in a total, or no profit at all, actually. So Maddie hasn't taken any trades yet. Maddie's just chilling right now, just like me. And we got Nathan over here. So Nathan locked in the total profit of 1,920 for the day. It looks like Nathan took 2 of the liquidity pushes straight to his full TPs right there. So nice work, Nathan. Yeah, about 2,000 for the day. All right, so we got the pending buy signal right here. I'm waiting for this to close. Going to increase volatility, which is good, but I need that to close. So we got 10 seconds left on this candle. I'm really hoping it closes. If it doesn't, it's cool, but we need that buy signal to confirm the direction, which it didn't close. Of course, it didn't close. All right. So you can see the volatility here is not very strong. It gets up to that point and then it rejects directly off the level. Price pushed up, still no buy signal. I'm hoping we get one here. Okay, we have 44 seconds left on this candle. If this candle here closes at the buy signal, it's going to confirm the retracement. And then if we get a sell signal, we can possibly start looking for a sell. If not, we can look for a correction to the upside too. There's no need for us to look in one direction. I don't care if price continues to push up. If it does, we'll look for a buy. If not, we'll look for a sell. Sorry guys, this is my text messages. I'm not entering anything right now. Just a heads up. Randy said, no trades for me. Either hopefully markets are better tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. So Randy said no trades for him right now. Randy just sent in his profits here as well. Nothing here. So it's solid. If there's no entries that come up anytime soon, then it's fine. But I'll hang out for like the next 20 minutes. We still have a lot of time, so it's not necessarily time just yet. So I'll be around waiting for an entry here, but I'm not going to FOMO into anything. Yeah, exactly. Andrew said don't FOMO into any trades. Yeah. Not looking to FOMO into anything. I'm looking for quality entries. If we need that buy signal before we can start looking for entries. So this buy signal here keeps coming up, but I'm not really going to force anything. So I'm going to wait for it to actually close, provide us that retracement. And then if we get the sell and price continues to drop lower, then great. If not, if price continues to climb, then I'll look for a buy there. But at the moment, there's just nothing for us to take here at the moment. So it's just a matter of time until this ends up. Sorry, guys. I had to respond to these text messages. All right, I'm done with texting for right now. There's no entries for us at the moment, guys. So right now we're still waiting for a retracement. All right, another buy signal right here that's pending. Let's see if this buy signal here closes. All right, perfect. We got that buy signal. So one of two things here that we're looking for. We're looking for a sell signal. If we get that sell signal, we're going to look for price to come down, provide us entry. Or if price continues to climb from where it's currently at, which is fine too, we need it to actually push up pretty high to provide the trend meter here to shift to the buy, and then also the pivots over here to shift as well. So if we're looking for a buy here, we're looking for the pivot over here, pivot level 4, to go below all the other pivots. So we need this to cross over below, and then we also need the trend meter to turn green. It doesn't necessarily need to hold green, but the pivots here are going to be the main indicator to identify the shifted trend. So we're just waiting. I mean, right now it's just waiting game. Pretty much got to be patient until this confirms the direction. But if not, then not really forcing anything here. We got Kenneth over here. Kenneth locked in one trade for the day, total profit of 600. Nice work, Kenneth. And he was in that position for a second. That's crazy. So you must have, yeah, it literally hit and then went straight to TP because it was in this trade for 1 second. That's crazy. Nice work though, Kenneth. I'm assuming he took the liquidity push and it went straight to his TP and closed him out. I've never seen a trade that went for 1 second like that, but a win's a win, right? Here's some profits here from Sisuk. Sisuk's first account, total profit of 2,150 for the day. Nice work, Sisuk. We have Sisuk's second account, total profit of 2,100 as well, all wins. And then we have Sisuk's third account, total profit of 2,700 for the day. Nice work, Sisuk. All right, solid. So not bad at all. All right, so price pushes up higher. I mean, there's no confirmation of an upwards trend yet, so we need to wait for that confirmation. I'm fine if price consolidates around this area. As you can see, price is it's attempting to make a climb back to the upside. So it might come back, retest, come back, retest, come back, retest, and then go back to opening price. Target price point is obviously going to be opening price. It's always opening price if price is this far below. So we'll see if we can make use of this. If not, then it's cool. We're not going to force anything. Or I'll take a screenshot of mine as well. All right. Here are all my accounts. All right, price is climbing, so we might be able to get an entry here for a buy. We'll see. First thing to look for would be the pivots. If pivot level 4 crosses below all the other pivots, then we may have possible opportunity here. So don't count it out just yet. And if not, I'll mark up my thing as well. Or I'll show you guys what I had from there. Which is nothing right now. It's just a blank profile or a blank lineup of trades. All right, so we still don't have the confirmation of trend, guys. So look over here. If you guys look at the pivots, the red pivot's still above all the other pivots, so it's still bearish right now. So if price comes back down, that's completely fine. We can look for a sell. But if price starts to continue climbing to the upside and this red pivot right here goes below all the other pivots, then we can start looking for a buy. Right now, we can't look for a buy yet, so there's no opportunity for entry. But you know, once we do, we'll try to hop into a trade here. Hopefully sooner than later. I think, you know, once we get close to 8, that's when the market starts to move kind of funky. So 7:46 right now. We have about 14 minutes till 8. I'm hoping we get some sort of direction here, whether it be to the upside or whether it be to the downside. I need price to actually be a little higher, like right there, or I need price to be a bit lower down here. Doesn't really matter where, but we need to get some sort of push. All right. So we got price climbing right here. You guys can see the pivots are starting to shift a little bit. Again, we're just waiting for better confirmation here. All right, so price isn't, I mean, it's pushing up, but it's not really strong yet. I'm looking for this red pivot to still be below all the other pivots. 7:48 right now, we still have some time. So what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for a confirmation of the shift in trend. Right now, you can see that there's not really much of a push behind this upwards correction, right? Price is pushing up, but it's kind of slow. Price will push up, go sideways, push up a little bit, go sideways. So I need this red line right here to be below all these other lines. So I need the red to be below orange, blue, green. If you guys are familiar with my pivots indicator, this indicates how strong the trend is. Right now, it's not very strong because the pivots aren't really angling and they're kind of going sideways. So either direction price goes, if price pushes up higher, then that's cool. We'll look for a buy, right? That's completely fine. We can look for a buy at that point. However, if price ends up coming back down from where it's currently at, then we'll be looking for a sell. Right? I don't care which direction price goes. Wherever it goes, I just need to see a confirmation of trend, confirmation of direction. Once we get that, we can possibly look for an entry here. So this is fine. If we get a sell signal here and this comes right back down, no biggie, right? I'm okay to take those trades. And it looks like that might be the case here. We just need that sell signal to close. All right. Looks like it's not going to close. We have another opportunity right here. So looking at this here, so I drew this earlier. This is a possibility. This is the other possibility. Price is faking out. So price faked out that it was going up. Same break and retest that I was mentioning earlier. faked out right here. Now it's coming back down. So, I mean, we'll see. It's messy, but I mean, we'll see. This is the one thing that I don't like about the summer market is that the volatility is so low that you don't really get a confirmation. It's really hard to confirm. All right, so I need this to drop down a bit lower. And we need that sell signal. We got about 15 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if this thing holds. So again, right here, if this ends up holding, we'll be looking for retracement right there. No sell signal. However, the red pivot is above all the other pivots. So we need that sell signal there to close. Once it closes, we'll look for the retracement, and then from there, we'll look for possible entry. So we need the sell signal to close below here. Need that to retrace and then come back down lower. Man, this volatility is so trash. Can't even get that sell signal. All right, let's see if we get the sell signal here this time. It's not really having it's not having that volatility to hold the push. It pushes down and then it kind of just fades out a little bit. We got about 25 seconds left here. Again, there's no opportunity for entry just yet. We need this here to close, and then once it closes, we'll look for price to push down a little lower. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said Trap Tuesday vibes. It's literally what it is. All right, so still no sell signal. All right, so again, we need price to push down a little lower. It's too high right here. I need price to push down below here. And once it does, I'm going to look for that retracement. And then once I get that retracement, I'm going to look for the continuation back to the downside. ATR right now is currently at 16, so it's kind of slowing down a bit, but oh, man, I'm stressed for a bit. All right. All right, let's see how this here plays through. All right, so until price pushes below here, I mean, there's not going to be any opportunity for me to look anyway. So, and then Gian mentioned Fed member Kashkari speaking at 8 o'clock. Thanks, Gian, for the heads up. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get this like in the next couple of minutes. If we don't, then we're just gonna have to hold off. All right, so I need this to push down a little lower. It's still too high. We got about 30 seconds left on this candle right here. So we still got a lot of time on this candle. 20 seconds. All right, so it looks like it's coming down pretty decent. So that level right there is going to be the 60 mark. It's got to close below. There we go. So this candle here, this green candle has to close below this black line. If it closes above the black line, there's not going to be any opportunity for entry. It's got to close green, but below the black line. And if it's anything other than that, then I'm just going to pass on today. So we got 36 seconds on this candle. Yeah, Randy also mentioned the ATR is currently at 16. So again, it's got to wait for this candle to close. There's about 20 seconds left on it. If it closes on the line, then possible entry. If it closes above the line, definitely no entry. And I'll probably just wrap it up for the day. Yeah, a couple seconds right here. Oh, fuck. Shit, I accidentally put the order right there for the trade. I gotta get out of this trade. See where it's currently at. Where did it enter from? 60. Let's see. I hate how I can't set like a TP here. So waiting for it to come down a little bit. All right, I gotta get out. That was my bad. I was supposed to be in that trade, guys. That was chipped me out for a second because I put my pending order and then it filled. That was a horrible trade, guys. That was a FOMO move right there. I should have waited a little longer. It's still gonna hit TP, but it looks like it's gonna hit TP. But that was not a good move right there. I kind of just misclicked. I was waiting for it to close, and then when it didn't close out, I was gonna cancel it, and then I ended up filling it. But whatever, the trade did. So if you guys took it, it's still hit right there. But I pulled out for partials. So I'll give you guys a little update there. There goes my FOMO again, taking control today. But I'm glad we took that trade, or if you guys took it, great. If not, it's okay. Man, I just hate how like we can't put pending orders for Top Step. But anyways, I took the trade on my Top Step. I also took it on my Trader Bait as well, or on my whatever the thing's called, MT4. So it gave me 75, so it wasn't really very much. Let me give you guys a little update here. Kind of got caught some slippage there. It's well, I'd rather have profit than no profit, so it is what it is. I'll take what I can get off that specific trade. Let me see my other account. Same thing. Yeah, so I locked in the same profit for both. Shiv said, okay, I'm full up for the day. Just got the upper liquidity trade for today, and he'll see us tomorrow. Definitely, Shiv. So we'll see you back here tomorrow. Let me just give you guys a little update of my trades here. So here goes my Top Step. I locked in 75 on that. I just had to pull out. It was just too risky. I mean, it wasn't an actual trade that I should have been in. So I just, I ended up pulling out, obviously. Here's my my other accounts over here as well. Some slippage, of course, but I'll take what I can get. Yeah, that thing happened too quick. So it's all good if you guys didn't catch it. I mean, it was not a good trade. I was just waiting for it to go into profit and then pulling out as soon as it went into profit. But it wasn't a good trade at all. So let me go and just post this up over here as well. And then let's see, looking over at my individual accounts. Like, all right, so my main FTMO locked in 740. 740. Here's my FTO number 2, locked in 790. And you know what's crazy? And you guys will see my I gotta split up my MFFs into like separate accounts, because you can see over here for my MFF, my first account I locked in 790, and then for the other accounts I lock in 490. Slippage is crazy on that. Actually, which account is that? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit, my bad. I missed like the last one down below. Never mind. Okay, I take that back. My MFF still sucks. I thought I got like full profit on one of my MFS, but no, it still sucks. I forgot to screenshot one account on there. Yeah, no, my MFF still giving me 490. I thought, because I cut down one of my accounts to like 100K account, it's still locking the same profit. Here, let me just make some adjustments here. All right. Marcin is asking, no, it's 490 on all my MFFs. I thought it was 790, but I forgot to screenshot the last account. They're all for the MFFs. I have one that's 100K. I split them out, and then I have the other ones that are 200K. So it's still the same profit across all the accounts. All right, so let me just put this up real quick. This is my FTO number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, no, it's still bad. It's the same thing. I was supposed to lock in the same amount. It was supposed to be 790. All these accounts are the same, so it should have been 790. They're still bad. Nothing's changed. It's they still give me like half profit per trade. So same thing. Yeah, I know it sucks. It sucks, but it is what it is. That's just MFF. That's how they work. Yeah, I wish it would be better. I mean, yesterday it was fine, but today it didn't work out that way. All right, so let me go ahead and just put this over here. So this is my Top Step number 1 account. This is my FTMO number 2. Oh, sorry, FTMO number 1. FTMO number 2. So what I did was I tried to split my accounts up so that I could hopefully make same profits, but MFF is still the same. So I mean, it's okay. I'm fine with having multiple accounts, because if I ever want to stop trading on like one account, I don't have to put all the accounts at risk. But yeah, I'm gonna look for other funding companies to try out, because I mean, at this point, I'm just adding more accounts to my copier. I don't really. I mean, as you guys can see, I'm kind of like, I'm going away from teaching. I don't really want to teach as much anymore. I mean, there's going to be times where I'll teach, but it's mainly just going to be the mentoring sessions. I don't really do one-on-ones anymore. I make most of my money from just trading, which is just less stressful for me. And it's better for everybody else too. So if you guys actually want to learn this stuff, I can, from these live trading sessions, you guys learn way more than you would if I was to waste my time like teaching people one-on-one. It's just too much work to teach someone one-on-one, and then they don't necessarily want to learn. It's crazy. If you guys if you guys have been with me for a while, there's a lot of people who they say they want to learn, but then at the end of the day, they're like, hey, can you just add me to your copier? And I'm like, nah, for sure, no. Yeah, other than that, let's see. So Andreas over here took that second trade. Nice work, Andreas. He took both trades, total profit of 2,410 for the day. Great work, Andreas. So solid profit right there. You guys saw my profits over here. So Here is my accounts. These are pretty much all my accounts. I have my FTMO number one right here. You can see I'm up 740 on the first FTMO, second FTMO 790, third FTMO 790, third FTMO 790, MFF number 1, 2, and 3, 490 each. So these are my profits for the week so far. Doing pretty good. I just took one trade yesterday, one trade today, partial profits today. So it's all good. But yeah, just 2 trades. So, if you add up my profits for the week so far, well, for today, so we'll do 790 times 3 plus 740 plus 490 plus 490 plus 490. So I'm up 4,580 for the day plus my top step. So I locked in 75, I believe. So plus 150, which is not that much. So total profit of 4,730 for the day. And then for the week so far, I'm currently up 3,100 plus 34, 34, 34. 2,850, 2,650, 650. So for the week so far, I'm up 21,450. I just took 2 trades. So 2 trades across all my accounts. This is where I'm currently sitting right now. So not bad. Once you guys get to that level, you guys can just add accounts to it. I have 4 FTMOs, 3 MFFs, and then 2 top steps. Once you start to add your accounts, it starts to add up very nicely. You just need to take like 1 or 2 good trades a day and you're pretty much solid. There's another opportunity right here coming up on the buy side. I'm not necessarily looking to take any trades here anymore because it's after 8, but if you guys are looking, make sure price pushes up a bit higher because you need this, you need the pivots here to confirm. So you need price push up higher, retrace and continue. If you're looking for a buy there, there's no buy entry available just yet, but if you are continuing to trade, that's what you'd be looking for. Let's see, Marcin said he has an account with MFF, need to consider my prop firm. I mean, MFF is fine, but you're going to get half profit for like almost every trade, Marcin, if you're comparing it to FTMO. So I've been using both of the companies for a long time. They both pay out, so they're good. They're just, one's superior to the other, of course. So my recommendation, guys, is I would either use Top Step or FTMO. And then if you really want to add another account, MFF, but don't expect to get the full profit per trade. Because that's just how it's been for the past couple of years now, or almost a year now, I guess. All right, one more profit coverage over here from everybody else. We got Maddie over here, total profit of 70 on his first account. And then a total profit of 70 on his second account. Nice work, Maddie. Maddie got in and out of that trade as well. We also have Barack over here. Barack locked in a total profit of 2,189 on the first account. And then Barack again over here, 3,137. So great work right there, Barack. And then Barack's third account over here, 4,219. Actually, it's the same account. It's just he took a little more today. So great profit right there, Barack. And then his other account over here, total profit of 6,849 for the day. Nice work, Barack. So these are pretty much all these same accounts. It's just he took more trades and then he continued to send in updated profits. So nice work right there, Brock. Solid profits overall. And you did pretty great just, for today so far. Lastly, let's see if we have anything else over here. We have Randy, total profit of 170 for the day. Nice work, Randy. You took that same sell that we took and you pulled out a little early, which is smart. I would have pulled out as well like I did. There's no reason to take anything that's unnecessary. Also, we have Dejan over here, total profit of 429 for the day. Nice work, Dejan. All wins. And I think that might be it. Yeah, it's about it for today. So if you guys have more profits to send in, feel free to send them in. That's pretty much everyone's profits for the day, including mine. Today's market was a bit crazy. Like there was some movement for a while and the volatility died down and then it kind of faked out a bit. But that's normal for a Trap Tuesday and then also for a summer condition. So once summer ends, guys, volatility will pick back up and we'll be able to take more entries. But right now it's really just weathering the storm and looking for, maybe 1 or 2 quality entries and then calling it a day. So it's 8:10 right now. It's way past my trading time. 8 o'clock is my cutoff. So even though there may be another entry here, I'm not going to take it. And then we're going to wrap it up for the day. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same place, same time as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, other than that, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.